Hi, it's Dr. Teran, and you're listening to The Pop. The Pursuit of Peace podcast is brought to you by SP Consulting Group, where the mission is bringing your vision to life.
Here, we're back. This is Dr. Teran. I am again your host for The Pop, The Pursuit of Peace, and we're going to be talking about Mental Health Awareness Month. Today is May 1st, and nationally, May is a month where many people give acknowledgement and make sure that people are aware and are reducing the stigma surrounding mental health. And as I took a moment to just reflect myself on mental health awareness and what it means to me, I think about all the times I've struggled with my own mental health. And as some of you may already know, I was diagnosed at birth with sickle cell disease. And what that means to me is that I literally lived my life in chronic pain. I have grown up and experienced physical, verbal, emotional abuse. And this has literally led me to have a lot of trouble processing my self-worth, my self-esteem, what strengths I have, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I truly began my story telling people what I've gone through. And it has dawned on me that I don't have many memories associated with that time frame, like during my childhood, that I can look back on and be really in a positive state of mind about when the history doesn't come back up. And one of the first things that Mental Health America has been marketing for this month are tips to thrive. And one of the first tips it recommends that we attend to is performing a self-check on our mental health from the neck up. And that's really just looking at how do you own your feelings. So today, I wanted to make sure to own mine. What I feel that I have accomplished a lot in my life, I also feel that I've lost a lot in regards to memories that I would have otherwise had if trauma didn't block them. And I don't think I realized that I had experienced trauma until I started on my journey to become a mental health professional and as a therapist. And ultimately, as would possibly be purposely designed, I worked with a lot of people who had also been through traumatic events, whether it was military sexual trauma, traumas associated with an accident, an assault, being in combat, moral injuries. I've treated a lot of people that have been through traumatic events, but it was through treating these people that I realized that my trauma narrative had not been resolved. Like, I needed to get help as well. I had to own my feelings of loss associated with those memories in the midst of everything else that I had to resolve for myself. I mean, I listen to people that may recall things that happened to them when they were growing up, and they have a lot of stories to tell, but I only have a few of them. And to me, that's a messed up feeling to have. I mean, almost like I've been shortchanged, or I'm in some ways empty in that regard. And that makes me feel as if I've lost 80% or more of my childhood. And that really sucks. But the things that I do remember, and it's a little crazy, but the things I remember are in little snapshots in my mind, which is to some degree what makes me feel crazy sometimes, because I can't put a whole story together unless someone else is there that I grew up with, like my sisters, who do tell me different stories of what's happened, how they doted on me and they loved me and they care for me. And a lot of times that's their memories of me versus those being authentic memories from myself. And, you know, what I remember are a lot of things surrounding my feelings. I remember feeling stuck, and it wasn't just feeling stuck because I was younger. It was really feeling stuck because I truly had to make sure that I didn't do anything to cause myself to go into a sickle cell crisis. Like, I had to be extra careful, and otherwise making sure that I wasn't doing anything that would cause me to be punished or put on punishment for something that I shouldn't have done at, any particular time. But like many of us, we know what we go through in life makes us stronger, right? It makes us who we are. It builds our character. It helps us have a perspective that's unique to the very context in which we were raised, not just culturally, not just, within our family, but everything. And the feelings I have ultimately, when everything has been processed and I have gotten counseling for this and gotten support along the way, is gratitude. I feel grateful, truly, for all the series of unfortunate events that I like to call them that I've gone through that ultimately have filled me to the point of being a person that I am today. Like, I know that it is not typical for someone to go through traumas and near life experiences where they're like, I'm about to die type of end of life experiences, and come out on top. That is not always a redemption story. It's not always a rise above the fray story or I found the silver lining type of story. Sometimes the bottom line is that life seems to suck pretty bad sometimes. But what do you do? What I decided to do was make a point to live my life on purpose, spiritually speaking, on purpose. I have gone down the journey to find my relationship with God and really seek after Him in order to help me understand where I'm supposed to be. Why was I created? All these things are happening. What is the point of all that? And literally, by cultivating my spiritual foundation and my anchor, I was able to get through it. And I want to be able to help people understand how they feel and what they went through are key elements to their growth as well. Many of the things that we go through in life are not fun. They're just not. And many of the traumas that we go through aren't things that we want to consider to be a way of life, as in, this is a part of my growth. Like, I have to go through this. That's not what I'm saying. It's that when you have, what do you do about it? And when it's all said and done, we have to have a sense of objectivity to realize that everything truly does happen for a reason. And if you're feeling low, what is it about that feeling? What is it about that situation that, ultimately made you feel that way? Is that a feeling or a situation that you can change? Is it something that you can, what can you do in the future even if you cannot change that? And what is there left for you to do? My big takeaway is that when all else fails, the only thing you can do is acknowledge your own feelings and manage how you are going to respond in the situation. Your decision can simply be not to feel that bad again. And I'm not talking about being emotionless, but I'm talking about working through your feelings, working through to the other side so that you can make sure that no matter what is, like whatever the outcome is, that you come out on top. You've learned from the hurt. You have to learn from the hurt and know what you need to protect yourself from feeling that way again. And that way, you also know the difference between when your feelings are teaching you something about yourself, or if this is something that is like red flag, like I just need to make sure to be cautious of X, Y, and Z. I in hindsight, these are the things that I can do to prevent going down that particular road with that person or that particular road, literally, whatever the case may be. But there was a time when I would bottle up all of my feelings. And let me just tell you this, instead of owning them or being sure to face them and work through them, like with the counselor, with the life coach, instead, I would just numb myself from my feelings. I wouldn't deal with it. But the things that I would numb my feelings with weren't healthy at all. And again, if you've listened to some of my previous episodes, one of those examples that I had brought out to was when I was both doing trauma therapy, I would end up drinking. When I was working with a county children's services, I ended up drinking because of being so stressed. And I didn't even grow up drinking. Like, my parents weren't even people that drank alcohol. It was a very strict household, and that just wasn't a normal, but that's what my body ended up going to in order to deal with a lot of like the caseloads that were heavy, the high crisis families. And like literally after work, I'd stop off and get something to drink in order to numb the pain that I was dealing with, or the anger, the frustration, the fear. And I literally recall that during that time being so overwhelmed all the time and having a hard time going to sleep because of all of my feelings, all of my emotions associated with the work that I had done with teenagers, with kids that have been abused. I didn't own what I felt. I bottled it up. And this is why I wanted to get on here, Mental Health Awareness Month. And we all are going through a lot or have been through a lot. And the only way to really deal with and begin to manage through some of this thing is to own it and be able to identify what it is that's going on with us so that we can know what to do about it. And that's really where another key point is. Like you don't know what you feel, and what you just don't know what it's going to take all the time to resolve it. And if you don't know what you feel, you don't know how to. You don't know how it's going to impact you even. And you don't even know how you're going to respond to it after so long. And I mean, you may be used to doing it. And when I say doing it, you may be used to ignoring your feelings and self-medicating or distracting yourself or keeping yourself busy so you don't have to deal with it. But the whole point of it is that only lasts for so long before you break. Everybody breaks. And you don't know when your breaking point is. No one does. So the best thing that you can do is own your feelings so that you can then learn how to manage those feelings and incorporate what it is that you're feeling, what it is that's going on, and how you're going to get through it and interact with other people at the same time. So if you don't know how to manage your emotions, if you don't know how to address and own your feelings and what you feel, then I recommend that you get help. I mean, I did. I am a helper and I needed help. And that's why I am really purposed here to go out and use what it is that I've been through to help people understand how to get to the other side. And one of the things you can do to get to the other side is to just make sure that you get help. A screening on mental health, you go to it by finding MHAscreening.org, and that's MHAscreening.org. But either way, you can go on there and just make sure that you get help. I mean, I don't really know how to say it any other way. If you don't have help, and if you don't get the help, I mean, I can even help because I've been through it and I know what it's like, okay? So if you need to reach out to me, I do provide counseling. I do provide help, and just let me know. Just reach out. And the best way that you can reach me quickly is actually just to go to my website. And my website is www.officialspconsultinggroup.com. So once on the website, simply click on the Get Connected link, and it will take you to a page where you can provide what services you need, whether it's counseling or coaching. Just reach out. There's no judgment. Like, we all need help. Like, we all do, which is why I'm wanting to make sure that I'm able to help you. Because in a time of need, you don't know how you're going to respond. And the only way to know what to do is to get the tools you need ahead of time, so that in advance of a crisis or a breakdown, you have enough internal skills and controls to make sure you don't go over the edge. And that's another key element. Just don't go over the edge. Ask for help. Get the tools you need. Live a fulfilling life. And it may sound crazy to say that it all starts with, right here, right now, let me check my emotions, let me own my feelings. But that is truly going to be a way by which you get the help you need. And again, if you don't have someone to reach out to, I can help. And if I can't help you, I can refer you to someone that can help you. Just don't do this alone. And with that said, again, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. We're trying to reduce the stigma. Everyone needs mental health, just like we all need physical health. Okay? So don't give up. Again, This is Mental Health Awareness Month. You can go to mhascreening.org to give yourself a screen. If you know that something's going on, you can go to my website, www.officialspconsultinggroup.com. Click on the Get Connected page, give me your information, and I will email you in less than 24 hours. I am here for you, okay? So again, I'm Dr. Teran. You've been listening to The POP, The Pursuit of Peace. I hope you join me again next Friday where I'll have another episode where we're going to be talking more about tips to thrive and how to keep you going during the weekend. Feel free to subscribe, follow, share my podcast. It's a whole series on self-care, and I want you to be able to find that useful. So give me some feedback. Let me know what you want me to talk about so that I can be there for you and give you the information. And whatever the situation is, okay? I'm right here. So till next time, take care of yourself and let me know if you need me.